So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our bliQ basic training today. My name is Sei Asanuma, and I'm located in Tokyo. So it's nice meeting you all, everyone. So before we start, here's a few things we'd like to tell you is that we're using Zoom for this online training. Based on the Zoom, the setting, so when you came in, initially you will be muted. So you don't have to worry about the noise or sounds around you will not be heard on our end. You can just lay back and listen to what I'm saying. And if you have questions, and I will be also asking here and there if to make sure everyone has questions. If you just mouse over the menu bar, I mean the Zoom menu bar, you will see a Q&A icon there. So you can just click on that. There will be a chat window pops up, and you can just type your questions. I can see it, and we can answer on live. Okay. And also due to monitoring my training quality, and rarely sometimes we've been asked for the recording for this training. So for that purpose, this training will be recorded. So I have to have your understanding. Okay, before we go into the demo, I would like to give you a quick introduction about my company. So our company called the Keypoint Intelligence. So it is the Buyers Lab and InfoTrends. These two companies merged together about 8 or 9 years ago. So the Buyers Lab now is not now, well, it has been responsible for the database, like for the device testing in the lab. And after the lab testing, those data will be feeded to the database and open to everyone. And this kind of task, we call it public test. So eventually the data will open to public. And another kind of test is actually a closed test. Not no one, well, besides us, and only the client will know the test result. So this kind of tests, we call them private tests or custom tests. So those kind of tests more like it can be competitive models, competitive solutions, but also some product that before launch, the pre-launch kind of test. So those kind of tests is closed and is private, and test result only available for the client. Those are kind of two types of tests that mainly the Buyers Labs are doing. And InfoTrends, that's another our business department in the company. And InfoTrends does is provide a more macro view of the market. So for example, market size or the user trends, that type of everything related to the digital, related to printing. And those kind of market segment is what InfoTrends is looking at. So today are going to looking at a database. So let me tell you a little bit more about our lab. We have 2 labs around the world, one in the UK and another one is located in United States, New Jersey. And both labs has passed the same ISO certificate. So what that means is that no matter where you have your device tested, will ensure your device will be tested under exactly same condition. So all the temperature and the humidity, everything will be closely monitored and controlled. And for the teams or for the people or staff working in the lab, we call them technicians. They're all pretty have a 15 to 20 years of industry experience in average. And we have more than 50 million pages being tested every year in our lab. So let me switch the screen to our home page. Okay, if you have the login and you know the password, I would like to recommend you to log in with me together. So you looking at the right top corner, you'll see a sign in, and please select bliQ. So today's session is actually designed for very beginners, actually, who don't know how to use the bliQ. So I will be only taught very basic function. So after today, you'll be knowing how to use our database, and all the basic functions will be covered. And for those who have quite long experience with our database already, you may find my training to be a little bit boring though. So use the email to log in. Okay, this is my bliQ page, which is a landing page of the bliQ database. And you will see the my bliQ, search, and compare. And these kind of tabs, 6 tabs all together, are the main functions in bliQ database. So on the my bliQ page, here's a profile. So we open that. Obviously, your individual personal information will be located here. And if you're just looking at left-hand corner, here's the preference. And you can have your language setting. You can have your preferred country. So today, since we're looking at AP, so I'll have my country set as Australia. And you can, for your convenience, you can also set your currency here. So if automatic, it will be US dollar, but you can change it to other like Euro or Hong Kong dollar and things like that. But I will remain as automatic. Okay. So you save that. So the preferred country, I would recommend you to set it up the country that you use the most in the bliQ database. I will let you know why in a few seconds. So now we move to search. As you see, like my previous search, it remains as it is, just showing like this. So before you do any new search, please use this X here to clear all the conditions that you did before. So we just cleared all the condition, but the country. The country Australia is set from your profile information. That's why even though you can reset everything but country. And another thing is here, well, previously I was looking on some production database. So it's been Pro hardware has been selected. But based on your contract, your view may be a little bit different than mine. But the Pro hardware is a production database, and hardware, that's the office hardware. So today we'll select a hardware. You have the software that's for the office, you know, those software or solutions that go on to the MFP. And wide format, that's obviously wide format devices. And all is when you want to search something that across multiple database category. So for example, you want to maybe search some device that's a very high end of office, and it could be an entry level for production as well. So if for that case, if you're not sure, you know, which that device will be belong to, you can select all. So as long as you contract the Pro and Office, it will search all together for you. Okay. So let's start. I will start by doing a, maybe we should start with maybe a keyword search. So for example, I'm looking at the concatenata busy hub C550i. So you don't need to type the full name like a concatenata busy hub. All you need to do is type the unique model name. In this case, maybe C550. And any device who contains C550 will be recommended to you under this list. So you can just simply select the one you are looking for. So once you select, here's the hit list. So obviously we're doing the keyword search. That's why just one device being hit. And this is the official product name and the country that we're looking at. The clipboard here, that's a hyperlink to the test report. But you mouse over, you see it says highly recommended. This is actually the green star means. For those devices what has good performance during our lab test, we give them a highly recommended star, and that's been put here. That's why although the hyperlink will take you to the test report, but if you mouse over, it tells you highly recommended. The icon below, right next to that, is actually tells you this device has won some award before. You mouse over that, you'll see this BZHab device actually won 2021 Peak Award. And then looking at right side, the intro date and type of the product is a color or mono machine is color. And this icon here actually showing is A3. Later on I will show you the A4. And it's a new device, which means it's been introduced within 12 months from now. And research available, this is all the report related to this 550. And you can just click on any of those and it gives you either list or take you to the test report. So you click on the product name and it gives you product detail page. So all here is public information about this BZHab 550, C550. And it's mailing spec information here. And the gray area here is you can see it as an index to this C550. So I'll pick up a couple to maybe give you a quick demo. So for example, this is a photo gallery. So normally if you go to any of those vendor website, I'm sure you will see this, the product image like this. But what's special about our photo gallery is besides the front product image, you will see like things like this, like control panel, screenshot, or picture photos of the screen of the control panel. Or sometimes, this is a quick copy, sometimes the screenshot of the printer driver, like this. And it always shows you the loading paper, the paper tray look like. And sometimes if there's a paper jam, it will gives you the picture on the misfeed, the location, things like that. So those pictures are actually taken during our lab testing. So it's very like first hand of information. For those photos, you are more than welcome to download them, and for your internal use will not say anything. You cannot put those photos on your marketing brochure, you know, since it's a competitive device, but you can use it for any internal use without any problem. And this is a photo gallery. And moving to tools, I don't know how many people here, we have another session that's actually cover the solution or software, but just to give you a very quick review, here is a compatible solution. So if you click on that, they'll give you a long list on all the compatible solution that can go on this BZHab device will be listed here. But since it's very long, and I would recommend you, maybe you can just filter using the status. So we only want to see the current available solution. And that will usually bring the list into half for you. And if you want, you can also, based on the function, the solution function, you can filter saying, I only want document capture, or only want cost accounting, or I only want mobile printing, that type of thing. You can use some category to filter as well. Okay, so this is the software, a little bit software review. You click on those, it will give you a software overview information. And the second one here, I like it because it gives you type of a family tree of this of C550. So the one we're looking at is the newest device. And if you just scroll down, well, it has a long history. It goes back to 2007 and how it became C550i right now. Third one, compare to similar models. Third one, underneath tools. This is a very important function that I definitely want you to bring back with you. It's very convenient. So you click on that. So the system will give you a recommended list on competitive models. So you can just simply choose. For example, I just, not thinking of anything. So no offense on why, not choosing my company's product. Really no offense. I'm just, randomly checking. And you click compare. There's a blue button here, compare. And it automatically takes us to the third tab, actually compare. Now it's in side-by-side compare. So this view here is actually the used the most in bliQ database. Why it's so popular? Because you can compare like multiple devices side by side all at once. It's very good because, up to, I'm just randomly chosen how many, 8 devices here. But you can compare up to 25 devices all together at this side-by-side view. So it's very convenient to do a comparison. And also at the same time, from here, not just from here, but you can export the multiple devices all together to the PDF or to the Excel, or you can just print them out. Also, you can save it. I'm going to show you afterwards. But before anything, we see it's a long spec list, as you can see it right now. But you may not need every single items in this chart. So what you can do is you can use a mouse, drag and drop. You can change the order of this. So for example, like this. And for those information that you care less, for example, other, or you don't need the security spec, you can use the plus and the minus on the left column to hide it or unhide it. It's very easy. So like this. You can hide it one line, you can hide it one section. Okay, so for example, I change the order and I hit it the items that I don't really use that often. So after you do that, please don't forget to save it. You need to save this view. It's always a one-time save, so there's no complicated thing to name it anything. Just click save and click OK. So for example, you log out. And when you log back in, or next day when you come back into the database, it takes a couple seconds. You look at the side by side, you say, hey, wait a minute. I remember I brought the OEM to the top. Now it became on to the default setting, right? And obviously those hit it already showing again. So by recall the view that you saved, you need to click here, My Spec View. usually take a couple seconds. Now we see the OEM become to the top. So I would think, you know, those items, okay, those will be hidden as well. So I recommend you to customize this long list to only limit those to the item you use the most, and then make this list more customized for your own needs so that you can efficiently use those information. So another kind of convenient feature is this competitive feature analysis. So once you click that, the system will basically highlighting something is good. Well, this is a good because if we're looking at, usually we're looking at a 50 or 55 ppm machine here, and if the 60 or 55 is been rated fast, that's why I'm saying it's good. But this HP device here is only 46 ppm, so it's being bad. But I don't think we should use bad, that word. It's more like color. They're using color to make the difference stands out for you, so you know here are different, not necessarily good or bad, like this. Okay, and this is a specification on the top, still here. But if you click the ratings, so from ratings below that will be based on our test result. So for example, you will know reliability, you see the usability, those kind of test results. For the device who didn't submit for the lab testing, obviously we cannot, have anything to show that for you. So that's why they are blank if they are not submitted. So if you don't need it, you can just delete it like this. And if you have a question, so because from here it's underneath bliQ standard, if you are wondering, what's the reliability, and you can just mouse over this blue question mark, you see the explanations will come out telling you the reliability test is we have this device to print certain impression, and among those impressions, how many news feed being counted and how many service code being counted. And based on those, that's what reliability being scored or being rated. So it gives you all the explanations on each item like this. Okay, so let's come back to the specification. Well, underneath here, feel free to click anywhere. You will not get into any trouble. So you can just click on this gray area, and you will see the different aspect of all information about those devices showing on the list. And as said, I'm going to tell you the save function. So this is a little bit complicated. So that's why I like to show you how to do that. So save comparison. This will allow you to save this group in the bliQ database so that you can recall it anytime you want. So for example, 7 models, 55 ppm, and I usually put today's date. And underneath, you will see an add to the folder after save checkbox. So please check that. So you see, if you have created a folder before, you will have those folder will be showing. But if not, you can add a new folder right now. And click on the green. Here you go. It's our new folder we just created. So once you click save, this pops menu will disappear. So that's why I'm saying this is a little bit complicated, as once it's disappeared, it's almost like nothing happened. That's why I receive like questions and very often asking me, I couldn't find my saved group. Where did I go? Where did I save it? So you go to My bliQ and you click on the folders. Still, we're not there yet. We saved from side-by-side compare, so we must save the comparison. So that's why you need to click on the second one, comparison. So it took a couple seconds. You will see the group that I think we made a 7 device. So you start from numbers, then the alphabet order. So 7 models, here we go. This is the one, right? So for example, if you want to recall someone, let's recall an old one that I created before. The system will ask you, would you like to add those old groups in addition to the current group that was sitting in the compare right now, or you want to just replace that? So let's say replace. And since once you click either add or replace, you will see the system will automatically take you back to the side-by-side compare again. Okay, it's good. It's a US group that we know, we're looking at the Australia group right now, so some US group is showing. So it's my old comparison. So once you save that inside the bliQ database, it makes it very easy for you to recall it. And on top of that, you are not just can recall it, you can also share that among your team member. So that's why I'm asking you to check the box, add to the folder after save. So before we're looking at the comparison, right? These are the folders that we saved before. But if you go a little bit down more, you will see a folders, and then you can find today's folder. And you see the 7 models, 55 ppm things, that those are showing. So from here, you can still to either print it out or export them into either bliQ or database. Okay? And another main reason why I'm asking you to save that to a new folder or any existing folder is because you can see the button here, share. So you need to put that to your own folder in order for you to see this share here. So for those groups you saved into comparison, you will not see this compare. It will be only showing underneath either those new device or the under the new folders. So let's say I want to share this folder. So it's shared by folder. So what you can do is you cannot just put one file into here. You can put multiple groups or multiple files and share that all at once. So click on that, share this folder. And for example, I'm sharing this with Loretta, my colleague in Hong Kong. And before you click OK, the system is asking you, do you want your colleague to only do a read-only, or you allow him and her to edit it? If you want your team member to edit it, you need to select Collaborate. And then you click OK. Well, I cannot give you Loretta's screenshot right now, but let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I can switch to here. Okay. Here's an old screenshot I took maybe years back. when he and she next time log into the bliQ, at the My bliQ page, there's a big pops up like this. So it's saying, say, or whoever is shared a folder with you. So they will not miss it. It's a big pop up like this. Okay. Do we have any questions here? Everyone's okay? Okay, good. So previously we did a keyword search. So from now, maybe we'll do a narrow down to using those filter. We have 20-some filters ready for you. So we can use those folders maybe to score, narrow down to target list or target device that you're looking at, you're interested. Okay, before a new search, what do we need to do? Clear, reset everything. Now we only have the Australia, which is the country being checked. Okay. So product type, this and that, we can, okay, still use a copy and NFT. And for the manufacturer, well, there's so many out there. So why don't we, if you don't want to choose, you don't have to. You can just skip it. Production status. So what that means is if it's in current, obviously, is current available, and discontinued is still a straightforward. It has been a discontinued device. And new, I said it before, is device who would be introduced to the market 12 months from today. So that which pretty much means less than 1 year. So obviously you will see the new is completely overlap within current. And underneath that, you will see speed, you will see color, paper size, and those are quite common items. You can see it anywhere, no special meanings there. Only one thing, and when you come into bliQ, I would assume that you probably want to see something that only bliQ has. So if you're one of those, I recommend you to take a look, research available. Oh, by the way, this icon here is A3 and this is A4. If you look carefully, you'll see the difference, right? The A3 is a little bit curved up and A4 is a clear cut right now. So this is a difference on the paper size. Okay, coming back. If you're one of those, you want to look for something particular in bliQ, I recommend you to open this, research if available. So here you will see, oh, maybe we can narrow down a little bit by using the speed. So using speed, you can either type it by yourself or you can select the range that we prepare that for you. So for example, we're looking at a little bit slower machine, 31 to 40 ppm. And among those, because we didn't have any limitations on vendors, on paper size, and we're either speed, we only select one speed segment. So for that condition, obviously we have a lot of devices who won the award. Maybe what we can do is we can only looking at the current. So now it's narrowed down to 133. And you click on that. I'm interested in the device who has report with. So in that case, you can just click last report. So those hit lists are based on our condition entered, all the vendors, and no matter A3, A4, only they have speed for 31 to 40 ppm, and they need to have a lab tested. And they have same meaning. So for this one, the Ricoh MC3500, this one obviously had test report, but it doesn't have the green star in it. So you will see a little bit difference here and there. Okay, so let's just pick up this Coursera Text Alpha. And again, here, this is the specification page. And let's open the test report. And I would like to go through a typical office test report with you. So it's always hard to see, and please definitely open in a new window. Okay, so the whole report's been showing. It's always starting with a product image, front image. It has a product name, and it has the score, overall score together. And I don't know if you notice, I think just a very recent, for those kind of recent, or I should say relatively recent report, we have this new feature that the hyperlink being added to the index. So for example, if you want to only looking at usability, just click on that, it will quickly take you to usability, what I'm saying. So this is the cover page, and it tells you this report being published in 2020, January. And from the second page is usually our summary, how we feel when we test this test. And the third page, it starts from the benefits. So the benefits are more like to the end user. So if you purchase this device, what kind of good this device can bring it to you. So it's been supported as benefits. So if you're moving the mouse downward, you will see advantage and limitations. So this is by comparison. Advantages, that means this machine is better than other competitive similar classes. And compared to those, this machine is doing very good. And the limitation, again, is also by comparison, is compared to those other devices, what this device still can be improved is being listed as limitations. So once you see reliability, that means the detailed test report will start. So in this case, this machine actually printed 225,000 impressions. And among that, there is only one misfeed, so it's very good record. And after that, you will see some like application tools and image quality. This another section started with image quality. So the image quality, it usually gives you the gamut of the test report, and it gives you some delta E numbers on certain those color accuracy. Color quality, usability. So after that, you see a usability. This is a complete from a user perspective, asking how they feel when they touch this device. Was that easy to follow? Was that easy to operate? Was that easy to use or not? And those items being summarized into the usability. the paper draw. What that is. So usually the usability will have many photos or screenshots comes with it to explain the usability. So after that, another big chunk is speed. So speed has been divided by print speed, and I think we have scan speed, and copy speed. And those have this device to work on some very document that has, you can see that probably anywhere in those kind of business environment. Sometimes it's all color, and sometimes it's just like the word, most of a mono, but just a one line of blue, that type of thing. And it's been all different kind of file. You know, it can be Excel, can be PDF, can be a PPT, PowerPoint. And those, how fast it's been performed, being recorded here. And after supporting data, this is a more for the firmware version, where, you know, the task details, test relation type of thing. And the last page, it gives you the certificate of reliability. And this, it gives to a device that who had a good performance in more reliability test. Pretty much all our test report share the similar format as long as for the past at least 10 years, I think. So you can, you know, feel free to open one and just read it by yourself. But I know sometimes reading this test report could require a long time. It's usually 20-some pages, and if not shorter, if not longer, I mean. So for example, sometimes you may not have time to read through the whole test report. What I can recommend is this lab test summary. And once you click on that, yes, and it will just show you at the spot. It gives you the score here, and it gives you our recommendation. What do we think is good about this device? And it also gives you strength and weakness. And after that, it gives you a little bit more details about the test. It tells you how good the reliability was, how good the productivity was. And lastly, image quality. Okay, so this is really a good summary about all the lab testing. So if you don't have time, you only have like 5 minutes, I recommend you to maybe take a look of this. So this lab test summary. And another type of a report is benefits assessment. So what that is, that's on another extreme about the test report. The test report is always like 20, 30 pages, but benefits assessment is very compact. If you open on the new window, you will see usually this benefits assessment, so only 1 page or 2, the longest. And starting, you still see an overall score about the device. And you see the very small image here. And just a 1 page, that's why it gives you a short summary on like what we think with a good point that the device can bring it to you if you purchase that. So this is a benefits assessment. Any questions? Okay. Oops. So we did a keyword search and we compared it with competitive models and we put them side by side and we saved it, we shared it, and we did another narrow down research. So I want to make sure everyone are still with me and everyone doesn't have any questions up to this point. Everyone's okay? So today, everyone's so quiet. Sometimes we will receive questions like non-stop questions. I guess if someone started and make it easy, for others to ask questions, maybe, I suspect. Okay. So these is pretty much the main things I would like to cover. And last tab I want to quickly introduce it to you is this research tab. So the research is kind of all kinds of information sources being gathered here. So if, starting from a word, that means all those devices has a one word. Just for 2021, it's just recently. And the lab and the field test report. And it gives you a short list of every month, how many reports being added to the database. Or it just happened to be no. Let's see if we have some. Is it working? It's not working. Come on. Okay. Yeah, if we put it like 60 days, within the past 60 days, this is how many reports being added. And another one, which is the third one from the bottom, that's a test report in progress. If you click on that. Come on. Oh, okay. And all the lists here are the models who already complete test and the test report is ready. It just as a fact is being waiting in queue to be put onto the database. So once you see the list here, which means you can expect this list to be in the database pretty soon. So here we didn't divide them by, well, I didn't do that. If you want, you can do it by the time frame, but we cannot do them by like 8, 3, 4, that type of thing. No more really complicated functions go into this. It's just a list of the product name. Okay, so for example, I can just select anyone, maybe not scanner, I guess. So for example, this one, Fujifilm Pro, is a production. Wow, it's very fast. So for example, I just select Fujifilm, the Epos Pro C810. And I want to, I don't want to log into the bliQ and waiting for, oh, today is no report being posted again, like come for nothing every day. What you can do is you can select alert. So once you click alert and all the checkbox will be checked by default. but you can kind of adjust them by yourself. So if you only want to be informed when the test report being added, you can just uncheck those and click elsewhere. And simple as it is. So your alarm is already set. Where to manage or check the alarm you've been set it? You still need to go to My bliQ, and then you see this alerts here. Okay, those are the alert lists that I created before. You see this the big green number here, and that means among those checks I checked, one update being made about the Cervico Pro C5300. But once you have those checked, whenever either the report being added, or the specification being added, or the OEM document being added, you will receive an email from the bliQ, and make sure you won't miss it. So you don't have to come back to the database and look at it. Oh, it's not here yet, so log out. All you need to do is just wait for the information to come in, okay? So we hope this function can help your work to be more efficient. Okay, is everyone okay with me? So for those tools, and since we don't have time today, I will not cover this, but this is actually a tool that is there for you to make a quick introduction and a TCO analysis, or you can do a brochure builder. So this is just some tools there for you. So if you're interested, you can either send me your request, I want to listen to this more, I want to do that more, that type of thing. And I would like to incorporate those into our next month's training. So I basically covered everything I would like to cover today. So do we have any questions? Everyone's okay? Okay, so before everyone leaves, we would like to use the Zoom's function and asking you to maybe help us to have your feedback about my today's training. So this is just a 2 question. Are you satisfied with the training? 1 as not satisfied and 5 as yes, I'm satisfied. And would you like to get the training again? Yes or no? And I do see questions that came in asking me, will you be able to share the recording with me? Yes, I can. But since I don't know your name, if you can kindly just using, maybe you can use the chat window to leave your email address with me. I will be sending a link underneath the Dropbox link so you can download the recording for you. And our July's schedule is open already. So we try to finish all the sessions, the training sessions before the 2020 Olympics. So I don't know if how many people will be traveling, but just to make sure we have all the sessions finished before July 22nd, I think. Yeah. And the schedule is already available in our website, and we're also sending the e-blast to all the subscribers in our database. So if you are already have your name, have your account on the bliQ, you probably should be able to see an email or e-letter from our US headquarters and tells you about our July's schedule. So if no one has further questions? Everyone's okay? And I would like to thank you all for joining me today. And for who wants the record, I see your email. Thank you very much. And we'll be following up to that. You will have it shortly. Thank you all for joining, and I hope to see you somewhere again. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I see another email came in, and we'll be give you the recording.